Thank you, Provost Ochoa, for your report. I wanted to speak on to the item regarding the Montezuma publishing. I know that I requested a meeting during our SEC, and I wanted to. I will do so after today's discussion. I guess just for some context for our colleagues that are here. In addition to serving as vice chair, I'm an associate professor in the Department of Administration, Rehabilitation, and Post-Secondary Education, for which I'm a doctoral faculty chairing and serving on dissertation committees. In the last 8 years, I've served on over 40 doctoral committees, having chaired 19 of them. These have included students in our independent EDD program and post-secondary educational leadership, the College of Education's joint PhD in education program, the joint PhD in mathematics and science education program, and others that are not affiliated with SDSU. And I'd say, one of the greatest privileges of being a doctoral faculty is the opportunity to facilitate the professional and scholarly development of transformational leaders in our field. And it's been a privilege to serve our students and support their academic and professional trajectories. Unfortunately, I think the joy and excitement of defending the final dissertation or thesis is overshadowed and complicated, or by complicated and inequitable systems and processes that have been perpetuated by our institution and Montezuma Publishing. So Montezuma Publishing is an auxiliary, not-for-profit organization that serves as SDSU's official dissertation and theses review partner. Montezuma Publishing also serves as the official review partner for San Jose State University and serves many other colleges and universities. As SDSU continues its effort towards becoming an R1, which relies primarily on the production of doctoral degrees, I do have serious concerns about the process in which degrees are conferred to our students. I've asked this question on more than one occasion, which is, why is it that an auxiliary unit has so much influence over academic affairs? Why should a student's degree conferral be delayed months past their formal defense date simply because of backlogs and formatting? This process undermines a committee of faculty experts who have spent years mentoring and supervising students' work. It undermines the program directors who confirm that all coursework has been completed. And this incredibly draining and time-consuming and expensive process is imposed on our students year after year. So I guess with this, I would like that this process be evaluated, be considered for adjustment. I have a statement from a recent graduate student that they couldn't be here today, but asked that I read them. Chair Butler-Bird, if it's okay, I'd like to read this statement.
Yeah, please go ahead and read the statement.
Okay, so dear senators, my name is Connor Laffey, and I recently graduated from SDSU with my master's, my MS in electrical engineering. My experiences with Montezuma Publishing were challenging, and the response and review time were slow. Each review took about 2 to 3 weeks per review, and it took about 4 months to get my thesis approved for publishing. The entire document was not reviewed in its entirety due to multiple errors, which was frustrating as it guaranteed my paying multiple times for subsequent reviews. Style guides were not clear, and it was hard to find the correct one, as Montezuma Publishing refers you to your department for this information. In my case, as an electrical engineer, it turns out to be that the IEEE technical format, which is a bit ambiguous, as different IEEE formats exist. Unfortunately, I was left to guesstimate what errors would occur each time I resubmitted for review. It felt like the last round of hazing to get my degree. I finally gave up and agreed to pay Montezuma Publishing to format my thesis to their liking so that theses could be approved for publishing and have my degree conferred. Chair Butler-Bird, I'd also, if it's okay, I'd like to yield my time to 2 of our SDSU alum who graduated from our doctoral programs, Dr. Angel Gonzalez and Dr. Melissa Beita, for further comments on this issue.
Okay, Dr. Gonzalez, you're recognized.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. My name is Angel Gonzalez, pronounced him, he, they, ella. I'm currently a postdoctoral research associate at the University of Southern California. I graduated from the EDD program last year in 2021. And one of the ultimate barriers was getting through the publishing process with Montezuma, and a lot of the confusion and inconsistencies between graduate affairs and Montezuma Publishing. It's evident through some of the conversations earlier today that This desire to become an R1 is very much aspirational, as challenges at the institutional level remain through inadequate structural support for graduate students across campus. This was my experience through this last process of the dissertation, where I defended my dissertation on June 11th, 2021, submitted all paperwork required to Graduate Affairs by July 21, 2021, and then kind of got confirmation by July 27th of 2021 that I had technically met all the requirements for the doctoral degree conferral, except now it was up to Montezuma to kind of clear the final formatting and editing kind of end of their processes. For me, this is important to note, as according to the Executive Order 991, which is a Doctor of Education degree programs, Article 7.1, EDD degree conferral shall require successful completion of the 3 major examinations and a dissertation, which by the time of July 27th, I had met, right? Qualifying examination, which I did in April 29 of 2020, dissertation proposal examination, which I completed October 11th of 2020, dissertation written, which I submitted to my committee by June 4th of 2021, and then final dissertation defense, which I completed June 11th, 2021. Even though this was completed June 11th, 2021, degree conferral didn't happen for me until February 1st of 2022, right? So during this whole process of trying to get the dissertation published, I submitted all the different documents to both Graduate Affairs and Montezuma, and there was a lot of inconsistencies of what form went with who and where. There's different titles for different forms. There's a dissertation intake form, there's a dissertation submission form, there's a Montezuma submission for formatting, there's a faculty committee approved dissertation form, and there's a report of filing of the dissertation form. So we're talking about 5 different forms that all go to different individuals, that all do different things that don't speak to one another, right? That's a very much bureaucratic and procedural obstacle that perpetuates inequity for students like myself, who is a first-generation queer Latinx student and 2-time SDSU alum.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. I'm going to ask you if you can quickly summarize, because we are running really late.
Okay. So ultimately for me, I just continue to echo Dr. Marisas Vasquez question as why doesn't an auxiliary have so much oversight over an academic procedure, right? This impacted me as I wasn't able to sometimes secure an academic job prospect because we required degree conferral to be placed on my transcripts, right? One was being an adjunct faculty at another CSU, and then 2 postdoc opportunities, in which one of them is where I'm currently working at. So for me, is why is there that this auxiliary has so much oversight and influence over academic unit in this context? Thank you.
Thank you. I can see that this is a critical issue because there are numerous hands up, but we do have a really packed agenda. I know we had one more speaker that you wanted to yield the floor to, Vice Chair Vasquez, but I'm wondering if we might be able to move on at this point.
I will say that I've asked Dean Love, and I know Marisa, they're trying to get with you so that the Graduate Council can review this and make a recommendation. I know that there's been some logistics there, but they are trying to set up that meeting to invite Montezuma Publishing to do that. So that is already in the works, and I will be looking forward to receiving that recommendation about how do we begin to move forward with the concerns that have been raised.
Okay, and I am concerned that Dr. Abueta may have cleared her schedule in order to be here, but if you could make your comments in like a minute or two, that would be very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Nola. But I want to hear from her. I think the other person, Marisa, the other
Go
person.
ahead, Dr. Abueta.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, senators and colleagues. I will be very, very fast. I am Doctora Melissa Beta, pronounced she, her, doctora. I'm a proud 3-time SDSU alumni, first generation student, now scholar, as I'm an assistant professor at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. And I want to quickly outline my experiences with Montezuma Publishing. I want to say that I successfully defended my dissertation on August 21st, 2019, and it took 3 rounds essentially multiple months, September, October, and finally in December. And I will just speed through the December one because I think that's is really important. And if I could have this moment. On December 11th, I received the third email from Montezuma Publishing that I did not pass technical edits from them. However, at this time, I didn't immediately respond. The previous times, I immediately respond within 24 hours with those edits. And the reason why I couldn't respond at this moment is because I had two sudden deaths in my families, one on December 6th, and we were preparing for the services. The email from Montezuma Publishing was on December 11th. And my father-in-law passed away then again on December 12th. And I was up against Montezuma's Publishing their deadline on December 16th. Through this correspondence, I had asked them about when my degree would also confer because I was on the faculty job market. And unfortunately, if I didn't meet this December 16th deadline, it was going to roll over to the spring. And at that moment, I had conversations with Montezuma Publishing, and that's what happened. I wouldn't say that I had put my academic journey ahead of my family for many years, as many of us may have on this call. And this was a moment where I couldn't do that at that time. I had to finally put my family first. And so I let it roll over pending the funeral of my father-in-law. And at this point, I didn't have my degree conferred until the spring semester, which essentially took me out of the job market for that cycle. And so I just would echo Dr. Gonzalez and Dr. Vasquez comments on taking a further look into Montezuma Publishing and the timeline that they give a lot of our doctoral students. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you all for your comments. I see 4 hands up. Some of the hands have been up a couple of times already. So do you mind if I prioritize a hand, someone who hasn't spoken at all yet? And that's VP Nickerson.
Yeah, so thank you, everyone. Thanks for bringing up this really important issue. I will definitely, look into this as well. And as Provost already mentioned, that he has already talked to Dean Love. And I will also make sure that, we'll look at it from the Montezuma Publishing side to see, what the issues are. Yeah. So, but thanks for bringing it to our attention. Thank you.
Just a quick question. I mean, we are hearing testimonials from individual students, 2 of them today, or former students, that is, congratulations, by the way. I mean, is this a general pattern or is it just individual cases? I think I need some numbers in order to make a decision on that.
Iniko, what we will do, Dr. Cosme, is that when this gets, when the graduate council, which is a Senate committee, reviews this, I think they'll provide a full context and report that would shed light to everyone so that we can have, is this a continual pattern or is this, we don't know. So I'm trying to do that. And so I look forward to those discussions so that I can get the report. And Agnes, thank you for your help on your end so that we can make sure that we can bring this back to the Senate and the graduate council could be making a recommendation how best to proceed so that we do not delay our students' graduations.
Yeah, great. I mean, if it is a pattern, it is a serious problem. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, Vice President Melissa Vasquez has brought this up, and so we're trying to set up that meeting so that she's there with the graduate council, Montezuma, so they can have a thorough discussion, provide recommendations. So we're trying to do that because once this has been brought to my attention, I've asked Dean Love to do that. So hopefully, if not the next meeting, the meeting thereafter, I think we'll have more context when the graduate council's ready.